Slide 4. At a particular college, 33 student loans were distributed in 1980. I'm going to underline that because these numbers are going to go together. And 63 loans were given during 1990. And again, I'm going to underline that because those numbers go together. During this 10-year period, the number of loans disbursed each year followed a linear pattern. Linear just means straight line. We have two parts to this question. Part A, write a linear equation that expresses the annual number of loans given y as a function of the number of years x since 1980. That is, x equals 0 is going to correspond to 1980. X equals 1 corresponds to 1981. So because we're writing an equation, we can get Desmos to do a lot of this work for us. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up in a table so that I have some information kind of handy. 33 student loans, and it says that the loans are going to be, loans are Y. So I'm going to put my 33 over in the Y column, okay? And it also says 1980, but it says in 1980, we're going to call that X equals 0. So we have a 0 right here, and that's going to be 1980. And then it says that we have 63 loans were given in 1990. So if 80 is 0, 81 is 1, okay, so 81 would be 1. If you need to make a list, you can. 81 is 1, 82 would be a 2, 83 would be a 3. What would 90 be? Hopefully you saw the pattern and you realize that would be a 10. And out to the side, I'm going to write that was 1990. So what we can do is we can go add this in on Desmos by adding a table. Now there's a way to do that by hand, and I will show you after I show the Desmos way for those of you that might want to do it that way. So let's get to Desmos. The plus sign in the top left corner will give you choices. We want to add a table, and then we're going to type in what we just said. We had year 0 and year 10, we had 33, and we had 63. The formula for a line is y equals mx plus b. So we have y equals mx plus b. But that's not talking to our table. If you'll notice in the table, that says x with a little 1. So what we're going to do is next to this x, we're going to type a 1 and it drops it as a subscript for you. Also, this column over here, y, is not just a y, it's a y with a subscript, a little 1 down low. So over here, we want the y to go top to the table, so we're going to make it look the same. So that's a little bit better, but it wiped out our numbers because there's an error, and here's why. We're going to get rid of the equal sign, and we're going to put this little squiggle, we call that worm, and we say y1 worm, and then we're using the formula of a line. It gives us our numbers down here, so the formula when you type it is y equals, in the place of m you put the m number, 3x plus, in the place of the b, you put that b number that we got down here, down low, b is 33. And that's the equation of your line. So I'm going to go back to my page. You guys have your scratch sheet of paper, and on your scratch sheet of paper you're writing the table and maybe making that list out to the side. And so the first thing that we did was over here, equation, we're going to put y equals 3x plus 33. And so that's how we show our work for that portion. For those of you that like to do it by hand, you might remember that slope is rise over run. And so our rise number is our up and down, which looks like the y-axis. So we're finding our change in our y. So how do we get from 33 to 63? We're adding 30. Over here, run is your change in your x. So how do you get from here to here? We're adding 10. And then you can simplify 30 over 10 to 3 over 1, which is the same as 3. And that's where that 3 comes from in our equation. The 33 for this one is easy because they've given us a 0 x value. And that's where that 33 comes from. Where do you start? We're starting at 33. So all the pink stuff is how you would do it by hand if you wanted to. The stuff that you would show me to get full credit using Desmos is the stuff in blue, and also Y1 worm mx1 plus b. You're going to need to show me what you're typing in because I cannot see your Desmos screen. M equals 3, B equals 33. And so by showing me what you have on Desmos, that will be your work to back up to give you all of your points for that question. The next part says use the equation from part A to find the number of loans given in 1987. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to go in and we're going to find if we had a 7 on the chart, what would be the number. But if you go to Desmos, if you add a 7 in the chart, let's see, can I do it over here? There we go. If you add a 7 in, this is a chart that you're filling in all by yourself. So no Y value automatically pops up. So that's not going to help us. But we know that 7 was going to be the year that goes with 1987. And we know that that would be in the X column. So you can say X equals 7. And you can then find where those lines cross each other. And you can sketch your picture. And you can write down the point. So for this one, to do it all on Desmos, we would say y equals, sorry, not y. Let's say x equals 7. And then we could sketch our picture. And it went like that. And like that. And then our point was 754. Okay. Now if we know that the x value is 7, what we're missing is the y value. So in this case, because we want to fill in this missing spot right here, this y value, that's going to be an answer of 54. And then what we can do is we can plug it in and we can check ourselves. We can also, because we know that x value was 7, we can just say y equals 3 times 7 plus 33. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in this left side, 3 times 7 plus 33 on Desmos, so that I make sure that I get all of my points. 3 times 7 plus 33. And that equals that 54, which is the point that I got. So now we know that we did it correct. Please make sure you type in both answers, the equation and